Yeah, first I'd like to congratulate Coach Biker and the Drexel program on moving on. You know, this is a very competitive league, and it's such an exciting time of the year to be involved in tournament play, both in our conferences and then what's coming forward when the eventual CAA champion will move on to the NCAA tournament. And it's something that I think we all as coaches and players, look forward to. Today, unfortunately, I thought, for the better part of the first half and the early part of the second half, they just kind of had their way with us. They were more physical, they were more aggressive, and we kind of gave into that. But I was proud of our team in the second half, just kind of getting a little bit more focused, a little bit more attention to detail, and a little bit more fighting us and competitiveness. And the group that kind of finished the game, I think, emptied the tank out there, played to exhaustion, and did everything they could to narrow the gap. But, Drexel was the better team today, and tip our cap and wish them all the best moving forward.
Questions? Start here out front.
Hey, Coach. Probably the best game of Liam Kelsch's career today. 7 for 7, a bunch of big rebounds. Had that block. Was super energetic down low. What'd you see from him that you liked?
Yeah, he's a young man that is just kind of learning the game. He had a very late growth spurt in high school. He was like 6'1" as a sophomore and kind of grew. So he's just growing into his body. This year was a whole new experience for him. But one thing you could count on with Liam is he's going to play hard. And as he got more experience and more practice time, he does what he does. He goes and gets it off the glass. He gets hands on offensive rebounds. He plays physical, and that's exactly what we were lacking in the first half. And he gave us. I thought he really ignited our comeback attempt with his physicality, with his play on the offensive glass, and his aggressiveness.
Next question. Down here. We'll stay right here.
Loughnane, for you, what was it like for you to just find your positioning to be able to draw those fouls and get to the line?
Yeah, it was good. I think in those kinds of situations, it's always good to score with the clock stopped, especially we got a foul in the backcourt, I think, and we were able to basically score 2 points without any time coming off. So, I think it helped fuel the comeback that a couple guys were able to get to the free throw line and knock it down. I know Luka hit a few, Zay hit a few late, so definitely helped us, pull it closer and give ourselves a shot.
Thanks, John.
Coach, since your legacy is secure as the winningest coach in the history of the school and the conference, and you're turning 65 in a couple months, I just wanted to see if you could share any thoughts about your future, or have you made a decision, or do you know what you're going to do, or anything like that?
No, way too soon to even think about that. I have, I've been so fortunate throughout my career to be at great institutions, work for great people, get tremendous support, and do what I love to do, and that's to be around young men like Michael and the rest of the guys in the locker room. We all know, someday it's going to come to an end. But when you're in the middle of it, just fighting tooth and nail to try to win a game, I don't think there's any thought about that. But when we get back, we're going to have our exit meetings with players, sit down and talk with our administration, and see what the future holds for everybody. But I'm just so grateful. Throughout my career, I've worked at some great institutions, and Northeastern's been very, very good to me. It's allowed me to stay comfortably in a situation that aligns with my personal values. It's an institution that's a high academic institution where you can offer a world-class education to student athletes, and that education can be transformative. So not all jobs are equal, certainly there, but when you look at what Northeastern offers to our student athletes, to men that come into our program, the ability to change their lives and shape their lives and make long-lasting relationships, I feel honored and privileged to be working at such a great place for this long.
Yeah, question right here. One more.
Coach, just focusing on this season specifically, obviously with all of the stuff that's gone on with injuries and stuff like that, what was your message in the locker room after this one, after it all kind of comes to an end?
Yeah, I think, this was kind of a microcosm of our season. We didn't break, but we bend. And so, I think there were many games just like this, as you've seen them all, where you're down, you're not playing, you're not executing, and then all of a sudden there's a fury of energy that comes from this young man here and the guys in the locker room. I think for them, we've been going since June 30th, nonstop, right? Everybody's living and breathing it. Guys are in the weight room. Guys are training. Guys are getting extra shots. Guys are watching film. And you're going 100 miles an hour, and then you lose. And it's like somebody slammed on the brakes, and, it's like you're on a treadmill sprinting, and somebody hits the stop button. And then, maybe that you put to a side to kind of, so there's personal time that these guys got to get. There's academic responsibilities that they got to get to. That's going to be a focus. Obviously, guys, in today's day and age, there's always the portal coming up and roster reconfiguration. So those talks will be coming in. The guys that are coming back, and we'll get a plan in place for their player development. Whether it's weight room or being with the coaches, and try to move them forward individually and try to advance their academic careers. So that's going to be the focus of the spring, and kind of putting the pieces back together again.
Well said, guys. Thank you.